That's what I'm talking about, right there on that board! Lieutenant!
Climb into the Normandy and tell Joker we are ready to be shot out of the relay. We've got rogue Spectres to hunt and the galaxy to save. Welcome to the Meergospective of Mass Effect. This is the RPG Space Odyssey, and lucky enough for us, it's a franchise. Consider this the first installment of our Mass Effect series. Our gameplay footage was captured by Mrs. Meergo, as this was her first time playing the game, so we'll be experiencing the story and choices through her perspective. We can already tell you we're going to have a great time, so let's do this. The story so far. In 2148, humans uncovered the remains of an ancient spacefaring civilization on Mars. This technological discovery led to them exploring the galaxy unhindered by Einstein or his theories. Come to find out, we're not alone in the universe, and there's a collective community of other spacefaring civilizations with a government centered on the Citadel. Being newer to the galactic scene, humanity isn't as respected as some of the other races.
Your people are still newcomers, Shepard. The galaxy can be a very dangerous place.
But that's all about to change. You take on the role of Commander Shepard, a badass Marine aboard the Normandy.
She gets the job done, no matter what the cost.
Your first mission has two objectives: securing an ancient Prothean beacon recently uncovered on the planet of Eden Prime, as well as being evaluated by Nihilus for your potential membership into the Spectre program. Joining the Spectres would be a huge deal, since you'd be the first human Spectre and would act as the right hand of the Citadel Council. This mission is important. You better not fuck it up. During the mission, one of your Marines dies, Nihilus gets killed, and you pass out after being mentally manhandled by the beacon.
Shepard! No, don't touch it. It's too...
Great job. Now it's time to unravel the mystery the beacon left impressed on your brain and track down the rogue Spectre responsible for Nihilus's murder. Welcome to Mass Effect. The story is typical golden age of BioWare material. It's epic with galaxy-ending consequences. It has deep and interesting characters, plenty of interesting side quests, and is generally awesome.
We are Rachni.
If you've played other BioWare games, the similarity between Knights of the Old Republic and Mass Effect are obvious. Clearly it's not Star Wars, but the overall feel and story design are very similar to me. The story is also laid out very much the same. You have a task to do, and you need to go to these X number of different planets to get it done. It doesn't really matter the order you do them in, though. It's also less Neverwinter Nights and more pseudo Call of Duty, being a real-time third-person shooter after abandoning anything that looks like the D20 system. The star of the show is Commander Shepard.
This is the most important mission any of us have ever been on.
They can be male or female depending on who you want to voice act you. We both prefer Jennifer Hale over Mark Meer. Sorry, Mark, so hashtag FemShep. Commander Shepard is one of the most iconic characters in video gaming history, standing alongside giants like Arthur Morgan, Doomguy, and Pac-Man. What I like most about the character is that you are an absolute badass. While hunting down Saren, you learn about an existential threat to the galaxy. Called the Reapers, these sentient machines live in dark space outside of the Milky Way, waiting for the time to be right when they'll swoop in and murder all living things in the galaxy.
Yes, swooping is bad.
With that sort of responsibility on your shoulders, Shepard can't afford to not be a bamf.
My name's Shepard. I'm going after Fist.
That's what she said!
In order to find Saren, you'll venture to different planets and fight many different enemies. One cool thing about the setting is that everything has a backstory. Every planet, every alien species, every character. There's so much history you can't help but be immersed in it. All of the information gathered while running around is added to your in-game codex, which is very detailed and helpful.
The Hanar are a Citadel species known for excessive politeness.
That Hanar refuses to listen to reason. Why can't it act in an orderly and lawful manner?
Because it's a big stupid jellyfish.
A lot more information is presented in the codex than in the game's dialogue, so if you're into that kind of thing, there's plenty for you to learn. Overall, the story is great. You feel like you're in a race to save the galaxy against impossible odds. Each mission you go on uncovers a little bit more about the bigger picture until you're hit with the full realization of the scale of Saren's treachery. It's definitely one of those I wish I could forget it so I could experience it again games. Mrs. Meergo played Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which improves upon the graphics of the first game greatly.
Well, size isn't everything.
Why so touchy, Joker?
So I don't think it'd be fair to compare the graphics to games that came out around 2007, or 2021 for that matter. Regardless, the graphics are great. The characters and armor models are very well designed with a lot of detail. The animations are top tier as most of the character and NPC animations were motion captured, which wasn't as commonplace in the noughties, the early 2000s.
But after what I saw on Eden Prime, I'm not holding back anymore. Not against the Geth, not against anyone.
The locations you visit are pretty typical science fiction fare. You have the cold planet, the hot planet, the alien planet, the ruined city planet, etc. Despite the lack of novelty, they're all done spectacularly. I remember back when I first played Mass Effect in 2007 how blown away I was by the environments. I thought flying around in space and landing on random planets was the coolest thing ever, even if there's not much to do on most of them, and the Mako is the worst vehicle ever. There's also the Citadel, which is the first location that you go to after Eden Prime. It looks awesome inside and out and contains dozens of NPCs to talk to and quests to do. It's also probably the slowest part of the game, and it may behoove you to just get through it quickly so you can get to the more interesting locations. While saving the galaxy, you meet and recruit 6 companions. These include Ashley Williams, a religious soldier who has to come to terms with her space racism.
I'm not sure I'd call the Council races allies.
Kaden Alenko, a space magician and migraine sufferer who heads the Marines on the Normandy.
You have something up your sleeve, Shepard?
What am I saying? When don't you? That's what I appreciate about you.
Garrus Vicarian, a Turian police officer who is fed up with all the red tape.
Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
Rex, a Krogan mercenary. He's brutish and takes crap from nobody.
Anyone who fights us is either stupid or on Saren's payroll. Killing the latter is business. Killing the former is a favor to the universe.
Tally, a Quarian machinist and tech expert. She helps you convince the council that Saren is guilty.
My people created the Geth. If you're quick, careful, and lucky, small caches of data can sometimes be saved.
And Liara, an Asari scientist and another space magician. She's an expert on the Protheans, who are an extinct galaxy-spanning civilization with ruins all over the place.
You were actually touched by working Prothean technology.
Some of the companions can be romanced, which is typical for BioWare.
Careful, Shepard. I might think that you're abusing your authority, a serious breach of protocol.
This will lead to an intimate moment just before the final battle. Characterization is something that BioWare is renowned for. Some of my favorite characters come from BioWare games, like Minsk or Alistair, and one of them is our best Mass Effect bro, Garrus, played by Brandon Keener. That's not to say the rest of the characters are bad, far from it. Seth Green voices the wisecracking Joker.
We don't give medals to soldiers for doing their jobs.
That figures. Just get me a nice card and a cake. No coconut, though. I hate that crap.
While Keith David voices another badass, Captain Anderson. Both of these characters are among our favorites, but Garrus is our standout.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
The companions in particular are very well fleshed out with deep backstories. You can learn more about them by taking them on your missions, where they'll comment on your shenanigans, or by talking to them on the Normandy. There you can learn more about their history and motivations. You don't have to, though. You can just go murder Saren's forces and ignore everyone on the Normandy, but in my opinion, you'll be doing yourself a huge disservice if you play that way. The combat and controls are okay. This was released following Knights of the Old Republic, and they wanted to switch it from the turn-based RPG style into a full-blown third-person shooter. As a shooter, it's serviceable. Like, it gets you from one plot point to the next, but it's far from great. One of the coolest and most iconic features of Mass Effect are the decisions you make.
Make your peace with the galaxy. The Rachni are a dead race.
Holy hell, it feels like you're playing an interactive novel sometimes. There are dozens of decisions you make that range from whether or not to give a fan an autograph to deciding if you should sacrifice human ships to save non-human ones during battle. You can even make decisions that may lead to the death of your companions. Holy moly, talk about ballsy.
Fight hard, Chief. Die proud.
The best part about all of these decisions is that most of them may be referenced in the sequels. It's probably the most immersive aspect of Mass Effect.
You all know the mission and what is at stake. I have come to trust each of you with my life, but I have also heard murmurs of discontent. I share your concerns.
The story of Mass Effect is exciting and engaging. The plot accelerates when it needs to, and there aren't really any dull moments. You are faced with characters that have different ambitions and intentions, and Shepard has to find a way to work with them. Sometimes it feels like you're babysitting a bunch of teenagers. You even have corporate overhead in the form of the Council, and Mrs. Meergospective didn't have time for them or their BS.
Don't tell me how to do my job.
The enemies you have to fight against have interesting stories and motivations, and you genuinely want to stop their evil plot. Your decisions carry weight. You even have to deal with the consequences of your actions in later games, and we're here for it. That is an awesome touch, and more games need to follow this example. Most games have trouble making your decisions matter in the game you're playing, never mind the sequels. My only real frustrations with the game were probably running around the sometimes overly large maps, how bad I was at driving the Mako, and the 30,000 elevator rides I had to take no matter which planet I was on. Mass Effect for us was easy to review. The final verdict is a 9 out of 10. This game is iconic and for good reason. I'm a huge fan of space games and RPGs, and Mass Effect is a match made in gamer heaven. There aren't enough great games in this subgenre, and it's a shame. If you like this video and you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on Mass Effect and if you had made any decisions while playing that didn't go how you'd planned. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Wait! Don't kill me, I surrender!
You will be silent!